Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Whitney, back for another solo episode. I hope you've been enjoying all the guest episodes, have some great conversations, learning so much in so many different topics. And today I'm coming at you with a solo episode talking all about launching your course or preparing to launch your course. Now, I know so many wellness professionals out there are interested in launching courses. Heck, I have a course, so I get it. It's a great way to have some passive or semi-passive income and scale your business and just get income for something that you can create once and then sell multiple times. So there's a lot of benefits to having a course. That's not really what I'm going to go into today, but more it's like, okay, well, how do you do it successfully? How do you launch a course successfully? And what I want to talk about is something that I see a lot of wellness entrepreneurs, frankly, getting wrong when they go to approach launching a course. And the mistakes I see are folks spending too much time perfecting the product, perfecting the course, or creating a course without validating it with an audience first. And this just results in frustration. There's time, energy, and money wasted because no one buys, because you're focused so much on creating the course rather than finding people with a problem and confirming your idea is the thing that is actually going to solve the problem for those people. So really, your course's success is actually determined on the front end through validation and building an audience, not by making the perfect course first. So we're going to unpack all of this today. So let's just talk about this first mistake a little bit more, this over-focusing on course creation. So I get it. Wellness professionals, we love to dive into the content creation side, right? We have so much knowledge that we want to share, and it's enjoyable to get into those details and put together a great course. You spend hours fine-tuning the lessons and picking the platform and creating these beautiful slides. But here's the problem. You end up with this fully polished course that is just, every little detail you've thought of, but you don't have anyone to sell it to. It really doesn't matter how great your course is if no one's actually buying it. I hate to say it, but that's true. Mistake number 2 is failing to validate the idea first. So you need to make sure that people actually want your course before you build it. So it's all about understanding what your audience truly needs and what problems they are really desperate to solve. And so the way that you can do this is by pre-selling your course or setting up a wait list. And this is going to test whether people are willing to pay for the solution that you've thought of that you think might be the right solution, but you're not really sure yet because no one's actually bought it. So you need to test it. So doing pre-selling or having a wait list, having a beta launch is going to shift the focus on where it should be, to your audience, to the audience. So you're going to start by identifying who your first customers are going to be. Who could these first buyers of your course be? Before you even have the course built, who are you going to sell it to first? Is it people on your email list? Is it past clients? Is it people that you've had sales calls with that maybe they weren't the perfect fit for your one-on-one or other programs that you offered, but they may actually be a perfect fit for this offering? So thinking through, okay, who am I going to sell this to first? If I did have a checkout page and a link to buy, and I wanted to tell people about it, who am I going to tell? How am I going to tell them? So if you don't have that answer yet, then it's a little too early for you to be creating the course. You need to first be finding your audience. And we'll be talking through and unpacking all of this a lot more as we get into this. So just remember, you don't need to have this perfect product. Instead, you just need to have this solid hypothesis of what your course is going to deliver. So what solution you are going to give to people, what problem are you solving and how are you intending to solve it? What are the things that you think you need to include in the course that are going to really help people have this change and this transformation? It could be as simple as taking your one-to-one process and turning that into a course. or taking a group program that you've run and seeing that there are a few things that it would be better if those were just delivered in a course format, and then converting that into a course. But having some kind of idea of, okay, these are the things that I'm seeing people are struggling with, and I really think that a course would be a great way to help them through this. And there's many different types of courses. Like my course is actually more of a hybrid group program. So it's not just a buy it and then you do it anytime you want. So you could do something that's a more hybrid, or you could have something that is completely DIY, self-paced, mini course. So the sky's the limit in terms of what you want to create. But you first need to be thinking about, who is my ideal customer for this? Who are the people that I'm building this for? And if you haven't connected with those people yet, if you don't know where those people are, then we really need to solve that problem first before we go and spend months and hours building out the product. So what you can do in terms of this pre-selling or beta launching or getting a wait list up is you can create a simple, compelling sales page on your website that clearly outlines what the course is about, what result people are going to get, how it solves their problems or meets their needs. So what are the things that you've included in the program and why are they going to help achieve this goal for them? And then have some kind of button that is allowing people to opt in some way. So it's a waitlist option, or it's early bird pricing. So it's a checkout for these beta buyers of your program. Now, at this point, I know you may be thinking, well, what if I do set up a wait list or a pre-sale and no one buys? Well, the great thing is that this is a very low risk way for you to test your idea and test your marketing and your messaging and your positioning of the course and what you're planning to include in it. It's really the safest way to launch because you're really testing demand before investing too much time in building the product. This is a little bit of that double whammy of market research while also actually getting your initial marketing and sales engine and activities up and going. So it's totally fine to put it out there and see what kind of response you get. And just because no one buys it, that doesn't mean that it's not a good product. So I think it's really important to also look at all the factors at play. Is it that you didn't put it in front of enough people? Maybe you don't have a big audience yet. And so we'll talk about that. Maybe there just weren't enough people looking at it, because honestly, conversion rates on sales pages, on email opt-ins, on open rates and all of that, they're low. You need to have quite a few people coming through before you're actually going to get sales. So don't be discouraged if you sent your course to a few people or you put it out on social media and you didn't get much traction. There are many different factors at play. Of course, you could be looking at, okay, well, did I position the course correctly? Did I really call out some of the objections that people might have about taking another course, or did I really pull out all of the benefits and the things that are going to be covered in the course that are going to help people solve their problems? So there's a lot of things to look at, but especially if you have a few people that you think are the ideal customers for this course and you send this to them and see if they're interested. If they don't show interest, then maybe it does mean that, hey, there's something that you need to tweak and figure out and work through that first. But this is great information. So you can figure that out now and really break through those challenges before you actually spend all this time building this course. And similar to audience size, another thing that could happen is you started promoting the course, but you promoted it to the wrong audience. So these are all things to be working through and thinking about so that you can be making sure, okay, who am I going to be selling this to? What am I going to be saying about it? How many people do I really need to be getting in front of if I want to start seeing some interest, some people opting into the wait list, some people buying the early bird price? So those are all things to be thinking about and considering as you go through this initial phase of just testing the product, testing the market, testing some of your marketing and sales messaging to make sure that that is all dialed in before you spend all of this time building the product. Now, I totally get that you can also maybe feel a little bit nervous about selling something that isn't even done yet. I get it. I was there too. I sold my website program before it was done. I did a beta launch. So I was very clear with the folks that were coming in that this was our very first round. They got a discount and they got a lot of hands-on support from my team and I, because that allowed us to really learn what they needed and what was helpful in the course, what did we need to improve. And I'll be honest, we always, every single time we run our program, we have a place where we put notes of things that we need to improve and make adjustments to. So the process never ends. Same with the selling. There's really two sides to running a course or a program. It's the upfront selling and the funnel and the marketing of it, and then the back end of actually delivering it. And both of those things really are helpful for you to reflect after you've gone through a launch or a season of selling and saying, okay, what worked, what didn't, what did I learn from the people that I did interact with to really improve my messaging and improve my marketing for the next time, and same on the delivery side as well. But what can really be helpful when you are doing these beta launches is you can, and I'll share this in a moment, but you can really use that feedback as kind of this flywheel of just continuous improvement and coming back and informing your sales and marketing efforts while you are delivering the course live to people. So anyway, if you are not ready, if you're feeling a little nervous about like, okay, well, when is the right time to start actually selling it? If it's not ready yet, how do I figure that out? So this is just my advice. I would say get to a point where your program or your course is mostly done and that you know how much more work is needed to get it all the way done. And then I would create a schedule to finish the rest of that work, whether it's the recordings of modules or creating lessons and templates and worksheets, whatever the case may be for you. And then I would create a plan to give people access according to that schedule. So you could drip content out if you wanted and make it live as it's done. So give yourself like a few weeks lead time. But if it's a 4-week program and you have 2 weeks of content done and now it's time to have people in, and then as people are going through the program, you're then recording and releasing week 3 and week 4. That's one way to do it. Or you can do it literally live on the spot. So I've definitely seen people do that where they record the modules. People come to a live recording. They don't have to come to that live recording if they don't want, but you are talking through your slides, going through your presentation, and you're actually delivering it live and recording it for folks. And then that becomes your course content as well. So you can do it that way too. And I'll be honest, I bought a course recently that wasn't even live yet, and it was at a special price. So this person was making it very clear that she was creating it. It wasn't going to be available yet. The price was reflecting that of getting in early and, hey, raise your hand, say you want this even before it's all done. And I was fine waiting because I wanted that program and that information. And I knew it would be good because I was in that person's audience already. I had been listening to her podcast. I had really just bought into the quality of her education and the resources that she put out. So she had done that. She had built that audience. She's been marketing and running her business for a very long time. So she's very good at this. But some of these practices of making sure you have an audience, that you're building that goodwill with them, that you're educating them, that they're getting bought into what you have to say in general. And then when you have a course or something, the best thing is to have your audience asking you, hey, when are you going to put out a course? It would be great if you put out a course for this. If you have people asking you to put out a course, then that's definitely a great sign that, oh, okay, this is something that people want. Now, for many of us, though, we don't necessarily have our customers coming and asking us for this. But if we do have this audience and these people are sticking around and they're opening our emails and they're listening to what we have to say, but they just haven't bought yet from us because maybe one of our offerings is just not the right fit for them, then it's very possible that you putting out a course is going to be the right fit for them. And when you put out something like a wait list or a founder's round price or a beta price or something like that, or a beta launch of that program, if you have people signing up for it, then you really know you're onto something, and that's going to be really helpful momentum as you get going. And so in terms of what I mentioned earlier, this flywheel of getting feedback from your beta customers or your first initial customers, and then using that to improve your program and improve your marketing, really what you want to be doing is delivering the course to your first buyers and gathering feedback and really refining. So don't worry about having everything perfect. The goal is to learn what's working. What is like, okay, yes, this is great content that I put into this program. This is what's helping people get the results that I really want them to achieve. And finding out what isn't working. This was too confusing to them. This is information that's missing that I didn't include yet. So some key questions to ask your beta users is, what was missing? What wasn't necessary? What was extra stuff that you didn't need? What was confusing? What do you wish was here that isn't here right now? And of course, did it help them achieve the promised result and what you were going after? And I would really focus on too, and keep this in mind as you're building out your course, to keep your course as focused as possible. I know when I was planning out my program, I had a huge sheet of notes of all the things that I wanted to put in there. And a lot of it made it into the program, but there were definitely things that were left out because remember, your customers are short on time. We are all short on time. And people want to see results quickly. They don't want to have to spend hours and hours and hours watching and learning about every stinking little thing. You as the expert are the one that they are trusting to filter through all of the information out there and decide what is important, what's relevant, what are the key things that they need to know that are going to get them the results. Because otherwise, they could just go on YouTube and watch a bunch of videos and try and figure it out for themselves. And that is not what we want to be doing. We want people to feel like they are going to get this fast track to results because you are an expert who has done this before and you have figured out a method, you figured out a way to help them get there faster. So if you are wanting to just cram every single thing that you know into your course and spending a lot of time building out and this worksheet and this lesson and this and this and this and this, it really makes the program overwhelming for your customers. It's a lot for you to do. It's a lot for you to build out, but it also can be a lot for your customers. So I always encourage people to start with that minimum viable product, that MVP. What is the least amount of content and worksheets and whatever the case may be that you can include in that course that is going to still deliver the result and help people? Just don't, if you're not sure about whether you should include the thing or not, deliver it to your beta customers and get their feedback and find out, should we be including this? Is it fine that I left it out? Or what were the things that were missing? Because honestly, until your course gets first contact with customers, you're not really going to know what is exactly going to work or not. So I always say, get it good enough and then go and launch it and get that feedback. And then that's really going to help you. And as I mentioned, courses are not one and done. They evolve over time, which is why gathering feedback is just so important, and also reflecting yourself as you have helped people through your program and your course, making notes of this concept was complicated, this concept needs I can take it out, those kinds of things too, just reflecting for yourself and taking some notes so that you can then put them into the course when you make updates. And each time that you relaunch your course in your program, it's going to get stronger, your sales page is going to get better, and your marketing is going to improve with the testimonials and insights that you get from people. So as you're gathering this feedback from your buyers, you also, or from your first beta customers, you also can be asking them, what was it that made you want to choose this course? How was this course different from other courses? And again, this is initial beta customer. You gave them a good price. So you're going to ask them maybe a little bit more, get a little bit more feedback. This is not something that you need to do with all of your customers, but I would even encourage you, if you are just getting started with your marketing of of your course after you've gone through the beta version and launch, get on the phone and invite them. If you can get a customer to get on the phone for 15, 20 minutes so that you can ask them questions and interview them a little bit, maybe even record it and use it in your marketing later on as testimonials, and just find out what was it that made them want to buy the course? What was the thing that they loved about it the most? What were some of the other things that they tried before that weren't working? Why was this the thing that finally worked for them? What would they say to other people who are considering buying the course? And all of these things you can then distill down. And hey, if you want to use ChatGPT, get the transcripts, put it into ChatGPT and have it summarize the main points. But then these are things that you can put onto your sales page. You can turn them into case studies that you use in your emails, talking about how this customer was struggling with this, and now through the program, they have achieved this. So these are going to be great insights for you, because all of us, when we're just starting to market something, it can be a little tough for us to find the words of, okay, what are the right ways to position this? What are all of the objections or concerns that our customers are going to have? We can try and predict that as much as we can, but that's where conversations with real live customers really comes in, and really giving a lot of thought to that. So having those conversations with your early buyers can really help you with your marketing efforts. So don't just focus that feedback on improving the course. That is very important. We obviously want to deliver a really great product to our customers, but also make sure that you use some of that time and feedback to get feedback that you can pull into your marketing and into your sales page. Put those testimonials on your website, on your sales page, maybe in your section where you're talking about, are you struggling with X, Y, and Z? You get a few new ideas from the conversations that you have with your customers and you put those there. So just lots of ways to mine your insights from your customers to improve your marketing. Now, let's go back to the very beginning. Where are you going to find your first buyers? How am I going to reach people? That's really the question that you should be asking yourself before you get into this process of beta launching. How am I going to reach people and get in front of them? So here are a few ideas. You can be going into online communities. So get involved in groups or forums where your audience hangs out. So be answering questions, giving value, and just interacting with people. And as you give value, so we always want to give value before asking for a sale or sharing our information. Granted, our course should be a resource and it's going to be something that's helping people. So shouldn't feel bad about sharing it with folks, but we also just want to give genuine support and help as well. But then you can be sharing about your program in that forum. You can find out from the moderators, is it okay to promote my service at any time, or whatever the case may be. Another great way is collaborating with others. So partnering with someone in your space for an Instagram live or a guest spot on their podcast. Really borrowing other people's audiences, because we are all working on building our audiences. If you're not working on it, you should be working on it. And so there are people who are ahead of you in the game. They have been working on building their audience and they have a bigger audience than you. So a lot of folks, myself included, are very happy to share my audience and bring experts and bring other people who have value into my audience to share their resources. And so that is just a wonderful way to get in front of more people, is that collaboration. Just remember, there's someone out there for everyone. So even if it's another dietitian or wellness practitioner, but they offer something a little bit different, there still may be a space for you to come in and speak to their audience. I think there's a lot more collaboration than competition, honestly, out there. And then building your email list. So this is really, you've heard me talk about this. This is your golden ticket. So your email list is your most engaged audience. It is your audience. If they are still on your email list, now if they unsubscribe, then they're not for you. You're not for them. That's okay. But the people that are still on your list, that are opening your emails, that is your most engaged audience. Those are the people that you can be selling your program to. So keep nurturing them even when you don't have anything to sell. Before you're ready to sell, be sharing value, whether it's blog posts that you're doing or just a little tip or a resource or an article you found and you giving your own perspective or input on it, whatever the case may be, things that are going to help your customers understand whatever it is that you help them with, understand that problem, get some wins, navigate that in their daily lives. And then finally, cross-promote your program on your blog or your social channels to drive traffic to your sales page as well. So those are just a few ideas. Also, some others I mentioned earlier, like going to past clients too, if your course is a good fit for them. But even people that you had a call with or they reached out to you, but it wasn't the right fit, this could be a good solution for them. Also, just going into your network in general and sharing about your program can also be really effective. Now, let's circle back quickly because any conversation with me would be remiss if I didn't talk about your website. So how is your website part of this process of launching your course for the first time? So your website is really where you can house your sales page. You can give people a way to sign up or pre-purchase the course or the program. And you can be putting testimonials on your page and having different parts of your website linking back to that sales page as well. And then you can have analytics going on that page so you can see how many people are coming to it. You could even use a service like Hotjar to get heat maps to see where people are clicking and focusing. And that's like next level conversion optimization, but those are all things that you can do when you have your sales page on your website. And really your sales page, remember, should be speaking directly to your audience's pain points and what they're struggling with and what they are looking to achieve and how they want to feel. And make sure that you include strong calls to action throughout that page. If it's a longer scrolling page, have calls to action throughout. Or even if it's just a short waitlist sign up page for now and it's just giving a bit of the key things about your program and why it would work for people, that's fine too. But make sure that you have that call to action button, whether it's to sign up to a wait list, and that wait list can just be through your email provider. So I use ConvertKit. So when people come to my waitlist page, they are just clicking to get into a opt-in form from ConvertKit. And then they get added to my waitlist, they get tagged, and then they get added to my email list. And then we can email them and nurture them and give them value until they are ready to buy. And then you can also have buy buttons on the page too, depending on whether you're doing waitlist or you're doing a pre-sale. And that can go to any kind of checkout. So for us, our checkout is ThriveCart. You can have checkout on your website, like as a plugin, but I found that it's just really easy and nice to set up like a separate checkout cart software. So there's Samcart, there's ThriveCart, and then of course, if you're on Teachable or Thinkific with your course or your Kajabi, they all have those options as well. So all you need to do, you can still have your sales page on your website, but that button is just going to link out to another page. It's just going to open up to the checkout only. So that's fine to do. And then make sure that you also have some good visuals on your page when you have them ready. So showcase mock-ups or course elements, even if it's not all fully built out yet. If it's the cover of a workbook or it's a mock-up of you doing one of the presentations. So anything to give people a sense of what are they going to get inside, showing that this is really a robust program and has a lot to it. And remember, if you have a blog, if you have other pages on your site that would make sense to send people to this sales page, make sure that you are giving calls to action to it, linking to it, telling people at the end of a blog that was relevant, hey, if you want help with this, I have a course, go check it out here. So do not neglect, don't think that people are just going to find that course from your navigation or whatever. We want to be giving people many chances to find our sales page so that they can read more. And we want to have that in a lot of different spots on our website. And so then just kind of wrapping up here a little bit. So ongoing marketing and funnel strategy, what we want to be thinking about after you go through this beta phase. keep marketing through your email list, keep building your email list. So when you're not in the selling phase, all those other things that I was talking about, where you would find your buyers going into forums or doing collaborations, you can still be building your email list by sharing your lead magnet in those forums, on those podcasts. So still be building your email list even when you're not planning to sell. And it's really a good idea to not be just only promoting our course. It's great to be having this funnel, which just starts with some kind of freebie or lead magnet. And then you are sending nurture emails to people and helping them learn more about you, and you're giving them value. And then you can be sharing your course offer. So kind of mixing it up and not always just promoting straight to your course. And of course, marketing through your blog, if you have that, or any other content, if you're on YouTube, any other content that you're putting out there, be talking about it as well. And when you have people on your email list and they're in your audience, just remember the goal is to keep people warmed up and excited about you and what you offer. And if you are selling your course all the time, if it's like an evergreen thing that people can buy anytime, then just every so often be talking about your course in your emails and in your social media content, and following this framework of really like value sale. So you can be selling every so often, but giving a lot of value in between. So people are really getting to know you and liking your style and how you teach and feeling a lot of value already. And so that when you talk about your course, they're like, oh yes, I'm totally in. I need that. And really each launch that you do, each push that you do of your course should bring more momentum. It should bring in more leads while improving the course's quality at the same time. So like I mentioned, it's that one side of it being the marketing and sales side of it. So we want to be improving that every time. And then also on the back end of it, the delivery and improving that as we get feedback and have people come through the program, or as new research comes out, new tools come out, whatever the case may be, integrating those into our course. So it is a living, breathing thing. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's passive income, but obviously what I just talked about is still some work. So I would say it's still less work than having to do one-on-one calls. It's still very scalable, but I just want to be honest and transparent about the fact that a course, if you want it to really stand the test of time and continue to be popular with people and have good customer satisfaction and all of that, it is something that you want to be updating and keeping up to date. I think that was something that I thought maybe wasn't a thing when I was starting out, and now I really embrace it because I obviously want all of my students to be getting the most out of it and it being the most efficient and effective for them. And so I really take a lot of pride and joy in making those updates. But it's one of those things too where if you kind of just let it sit there, then naturally I think sales will go down just because it's not getting updated and you're not spending the attention on it. So if it is something that you really want to be a major revenue source and something that you want to be driving people to and have people excited about it, just keep in mind that you'll want to be improving it and continuing to see those opportunities there. Okay, so let's sum it all up. Why are we doing it this way? It feels maybe a little backwards. Instead of building the program first, you want to actually build the marketing first, build the audience first, even pre-sell it and beta test it and get a wait list going, get some early people telling you that they're interested in. So doing this early win by getting people saying, yes, I'm interested, I want to be on the wait list, or I want to buy it, or I want to be in your beta round. Really, you are setting yourself up for success by validating your idea and generating interest before you've even fully created the course. And that's really important. And getting your first sales, your first feedback is just going to motivate you and give you more clarity moving forward. I can't imagine how frustrating it can feel to spend months building something and then try and go and sell it and not have the results that you were looking for the amount of time that you've spent. I think that would be really demoralizing. And I think, unfortunately, it would cause you to probably want to give up or not push through. So I would say keep that energy for selling it, and actually spend the time of focusing your energy on finding the audience, finding the messaging, keep pushing at it until you start getting some people saying, yes, that's something I'm interested in. That is something that I would buy. And that way you are using that energy to refine your message and all of that. And then that's going to be great. You're going to be really happy that you have some people saying they want to buy it. And then you're really going to be motivated to go and finish building it out. As opposed to if you spend all of your energy building it out, you probably won't have as much energy to sell it. And then if the selling of it doesn't go well, it's not going to be the best experience. Because I don't know if I've said this so much before, but entrepreneurship is just such a roller coaster of emotions. And I think we really need to be honest with ourselves about the emotional toll that different things take on us, and be really protective of our energy and our feelings, and do things in a way that is going to make sure that we are keeping our energy high and our spirits high. It's not always possible to do that, but doing the best we can, because we are not machines. We are not robots. We are humans that have feelings and have other things going on in our lives as well. We are not perfect. And so if our business is requiring us to always be 100% happy, energized, and, our cup always full, that's just not realistic. It's not possible. So how can we make work in a way that's going to be cognizant of those ups and downs that just naturally occur in our lives and in our feelings? So remember, keep it simple, stay focused on your audience, let your website and your sales page do the heavy lifting for you, drive people to that, use your email list. And I really hope that this was helpful advice to just help you see a different way of approaching launching your course, and some things that you may want to be thinking about and doing before you actually go into the building phase. And I know, like I said at the top of this, that's the place that we probably feel the most comfortable and enjoy the most. But if you want this course to be something that actually sells, you do need to work on how you're going to market it and sell it to people. And it's going to be a valuable skill that will help you for years to come in your business. So I will leave you with that. I will say, if you are looking for help with your website, we do have our program, the Wellness Pro Website System. So I've used that in a couple examples throughout this podcast today. We have had over 100 entrepreneurs come through it at this point. And what we're focused on is just helping you get a WordPress website up online that actually gets you more clients. We have a sales page template in there. We talk through how to set up a wait list if you would like for your program, but we also cover and help you if you are a service-based provider, or you have group programs, or you're a consultant, or you're a blogger. So our page layouts and coaching throughout the program can help you really no matter what you are trying to achieve with your website and in your business. And we also talk about email marketing and help you get your first lead magnet set up if you don't have one of those yet, and just a bunch of other stuff. So it's a done with you program. You're not having to figure out the tech yourself. You pick out one of the layouts that we have designed, and we install that. We customize it with your brand colors, and then turn it over to you for you to customize with your copy. So you're going to learn how to write copy for including your sales page and all the other parts of your website. And then you pop in your photos. If you're doing a sales page for your course, you can pop in the mock-ups for your course, the pricing, link the buttons to the checkout or your wait list, whatever the case may be, and get that up and going. And the program is 8 weeks long. You can launch your site in 2 weeks if you want, but otherwise it's an 8-week long program to really get your entire website, and you're getting branding, you're getting email marketing, you're also learning about SEO. There's just so much that we cover in that program. So you get coaching from myself and my team, and also a live forum for questions and connecting with other entrepreneurs who are going through the process as well. So it's a great opportunity to really move your business forward in a big way, and finally have a website that you can be proud of, that you can then be using for all of your marketing and sales efforts, and just really propel you forward. So if you are interested in that, we open doors to that a few times a year. And you can go to wellnessprowebsite.com to learn a little bit more, read some testimonials, see the page designs that I was mentioning, see what our other students have made and the websites that they've created, which are just so beautiful and unique, and get on the wait list. So we do have a wait list button on that page, so you can add your name to the wait list, and then you'll be the first to know when doors are opening again. So I will leave you there. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.